Hi there, it's Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, and I've got something interesting to show you. As usual, I've got a ring here. This is a unique borrowed ring. This is actually a coin ring. It's been pressed from a $half into a ring shape. You'd want to borrow a ring, something that could be identified as being a one and only item. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the ring. I'm going to set it inside of this handkerchief right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold on to this just for a minute. And I have another item that we're going to need. I've got a little coin purse over here that I keep, and it's a little drawstring kind of bag. And I'm going to take your ring, and you can feel it. Go ahead and touch. Make sure your ring is still in there. Go ahead and touch and feel that. What I want to do is we're going to fold your ring up inside of this handkerchief. And I want to just set this down over here. So we have the ring and the handkerchief over here. We've got the bag over there. My hands are empty. I've got nothing, no funny business. In fact, I'm going to put my hands down here under the table so I can't be accused of any funny moves or any kind of intervention. What I would ask you to do is I want you to take that bag and go ahead and open it up. Check it out. Now, you're not here, so I'll have to do it for you, but we'll do this very fairly. You would open up the bag, and if you look inside of the bag and dump out its contents, you'll find a very interesting item. It is the ring that we were using a moment ago. And if you take a look inside the handkerchief, I would have you look there next, and you can unfold this and open it up, and you would see that the ring has vanished. It has moved from here over to there, space between. It's a miracle. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. Another idea that I had kind of floating around in my mind here, I wanted to share was with a deck of cards. So you might be using a deck of cards and you've been doing some card tricks. And at the end of your card trick set, you would take your cards and you can place them inside of your handkerchief that you have sitting there, or it could be a napkin or something like that. And you can see the cards in there. Now, I like to keep cards in a handkerchief because I find that it allows me to pack it very, very flat and tight. And you can see that I can pack up my cards very tightly, very flat, and then I can store them in this way. That way I don't have bulky cards sitting in my pocket. So that is the idea that I wanted to share with you. So you can use a thumb tip as a form. A thumb tip can be used as a form. It doesn't have to be a vessel. It doesn't have to be a structure that holds things or holds out items as we normally think about it, but it can actually be something that is sensed and seen with some cover. Maybe not seen intentionally directly. I know there's that old gag where you take a thumb tip and you make it look like you're poking your thumb or finger through a shirt or something like that, or a piece of fabric. That's a little on the nose for my taste, but you can kind of go one step below that, and you can use it as a form so that it's something that takes up space and can stand in for other items. So when you look at a thumb tip, this is a slightly shaved off king-size thumb tip. If you were going to do this with the cards, you probably would want it to be full size. It gives you another 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch there, which would be about the width of a deck of cards. You can see this is a little short here by about 1/4 of an inch. But if you had the full size on it, it would work a little bit better. King size thumb tip. And if you put this underneath the cover of a handkerchief, you would see that it can look like a deck of cards. It can look like you're holding on to something like a deck of cards, or you can hold it out here like this. You can see that it falls squarely off the end. It might even kind of pull the corner in like that to really drive it home. You could ring in a deck of cards from an empty handkerchief, right? If you pick up the handkerchief and insert the thumb tip underneath, and then you have a free hand available if you get near the edge of the table to ring in cards, and then you can just pick up not doing this very well, but you could pick up the thumb tip as you show the deck of cards, and you can make them appear out of nowhere, make them disappear, whatever the case may be. On the other side of this, going back to the first effect where we have a ring, the thumb tip is also a tube. It's got a ringed end to it, a circular end, and if this is sitting underneath a handkerchief, or a paper napkin, it holds the shape of a ring. You can hold it like this and have someone touch it and feel that it's in there. You can hold it like this. Good idea. If you put a little bit of an indent in that, you can feel that. But that edge can stand in for another item which has already been taken and palmed away and then inserted into another device. It could be a nest of envelopes or nested boxes, one of those kinds of devices. It looks like it's impossible and locked up in rubber bands or whatever, different ways that you can get objects into those kinds of things. But you have a setup, a destination prepared that you can get the ring into, set that aside, and then right up to the moment when it disappears, it is sensed in the handkerchief or the paper napkin. If I show you with a paper napkin, this is a little bit more convincing here because it's lighter. But a paper napkin, I can push in the indent, and you can really feel it and see it very clearly in a paper napkin. And then I can take back the thumb tip and I can ball this up, set this aside. You could do this with 2 paper napkins. You don't even need to have a handkerchief and a bag or some other kind of destination. All you need is a ring, borrowed ring, a couple of paper napkins. You ball up one over here and set it down, right? And then you take the other one here with the ring underneath it. And if you get the ring underneath this first, and you get it stolen away, you can ball up the other napkin, set it aside with the ring inside of it, and you're in a situation where you can demonstrate the ring here, right? You can steal back the thumb tip, you can ball up the paper napkin, set it on the table. You've got 2 paper napkins, one here, one over here. The ring's already been moved. You get your hands out of the way. Use the subtlety where you show the hands empty. Say, no funny business, I'm going to put my hands down here. They can open up this napkin, they find the ring, they open up this one, the ring is gone. A couple of ideas there that you can use, just kind of found objects, borrowed objects, and just a thumb tip. Using a thumb tip as a form, as a structure that stands in for other objects when you need to vanish or you need to materialize something and get one ahead before you ring in or after you've ringed out, taken out, called out your object of interest. So a couple of ideas there. Thumb tip as a form. Good luck with that. Happy magicking.